Boom, YouTube, I'm back like I never left, and Allah is still with us because He never left. My name is Brother Hassan, but you can call me YouTube. YouTube, what did he do? No, my bad, damn. But you can call me YouTube, then I must say, what did he do? Hey, bro, we got Leo. Now, Messi is still the best player in the world. Facts. And that's all you gotta say.
We all thought he was done, and then he did this. In sport, there's a moment that comes for every legend. The moment when the world slowly begins to move on. The conversation starts changing. The same people who spent years celebrating your greatness begin asking whether you should walk away. It happened to Michael Jordan, it happened to Muhammad Ali, and it happens to every athlete who spends enough time at the very top. And before the 2026 FIFA World Cup, many people believed that that moment had already arrived for Lionel Messi. After all, what was there that was left to prove? He had already completed football. He won every major trophy possible. He lifted the World Cup trophy in 2022.
Bro, the ability of the way Messi, bro, the way Messi break defenders, the way Messi destroy defenders is so crazy,
major
bro.
trophy possible.
Like, yo,
he lifted the World Cup trophy in 2022.
How does he do that,
ending
bro?
the arguments once and for all. He won 8 Ballon d'Ors, broke countless records.
Yo,
legacy has already been written.
I'm sorry, bro. What am I seeing?
He won
Look at these, bro.
2022.
Look at these
Arguments once.
Look at these, bro.
He won
He's literally holding, bro. He's holding his hand, bro.
Ballon d'Ors,
Bro, what am I watching?
Legacy
Bro, what am?
has
Oh my
been
God!
written,
His
and we
ability
all
to
put him amongst
control
the greatest
the
athletes
ball
in human history. Yet when he was announced to return for his 6th World Cup at 38 years of age, the questions immediately started.
Oh my
Why is
God.
he there? Hasn't he already achieved everything? Shouldn't Argentina
Oh my
just
God,
move
bro!
on?
I don't think
Does
there's
he have
any
the legs
player
to compete?
that is so as bro smooth as Messi, bro. I don't think there's any players that could break defenders, that could literally destroy a defender more than Messi, bro. His ability to, oh my.
Compete against other players who are 15 years younger than he is. And also, to add salt to all of this, he plays in Major League Soccer. The intensity is different, you know, the speed is different. The game has moved on, maybe. And maybe this was simply a farewell tour, a chance for the greatest player ever to take one final bow before walking away forever. But you know what? That was the biggest mistake everyone made. Because the problem with Messi is that football has been spending 20 years trying to predict when he's going to.
He's so smooth. Bro, how does he play like that?
20 years trying to stop his magic. 20 years trying to make him disappear. 20 years believing that time will eventually catch on to him. But time has always worked differently around Messi. In 2006, he arrived at the World Cup as a teenager with impossible acceleration, fearless confidence, and a future.
Yes, bro, that's something like his ability to like slow down, dribble, and then just go. It's like so incredible.
Nobody could fully imagine.
Incredible, bro.
20 years later, and he walked into another World Cup with grey hairs in his beard, slower legs, and more history than any footballer before him.
But still,
the player has changed and the body has changed, but the genius never left him. And after 90 minutes in Argentina's opening match, the entire football world was forced to admit that they were wrong. Never doubt Lionel Messi. And let's take it back 20 years ago. Exactly. June 16th, 2006.
June 16th.
The football world witnessed the very beginning of Lionel Messi. An 18-year-old boy came off the bench against Serbia and Montenegro at the World Cup and announced himself in a way that only he could. A goal, an assist, flashes with unbelievable speed,
Is that Maradona?
and the feeling that football just discovered something it had never seen before. He became Argentina's youngest ever World Cup goal scorer, a teenager with a baby face and a style of football that looked almost unnatural. He moved like nobody else. He saw spaces nobody else could see. It was the beginning of a journey that would take him through heartbreak, criticism, impossible expectations, and eventually immortality. And then exactly 20 years later, on the same date, This is absolutely insane. The world witnessed another chapter in the same story. Except this time, the teenager had become 38 years old with a beard, a family, and a career that had already surpassed
Yo,
everyone's
glaze
dreams.
every day,
Against
all
Algeria
day.
and Kansas City, Messi did not run like a boy from 2006. He didn't need to. The speed had disappeared. The intelligence, however, became more terrifying than ever. He no longer destroyed defenders with acceleration. He destroyed them with his understanding of the game. A half a second
Nah,
movement, a
bro.
small change
I'm
of direction, a pass
facts.
nobody else sees,
Thank
and a
you.
finish that arrives before
Thank
the goalkeeper
you.
even realizes the danger is coming. His 3 goals against Algeria were the perfect representation of the evolution of Messi. The first was power and
Thank
precision
you,
from outside the
bro.
box. The second was instinct and anticipation. And the third was a classic Messi combination play that has broken football's greatest defenders for the past 2 decades. And by the end of the night, he had completed his first ever World Cup hat-trick, becoming the oldest player to score a hat-trick in the history of his first ever
Bro, no
World
way
Cup
this
hat-trick,
man got
becoming the
nutmeg while I
oldest
was
player to
sitting
score a hat-trick in
down.
the history of the competition.
Yo,
And
I'll
echoed
put that in
numerous loud
replay
scores of the
again.
record for 16
Replay that
goals at the World
again.
Cup, and became the first player in history to appear in 6 World Cups. But somehow the
Ooh, that
stats do
ain't
not
going
tell
in.
the entire story, because what made this night so special was not just what Messi achieved. It was the realization that after football met him 20 years later, the game still had
Boy,
no answer for
he
him.
got 2 defenders on the ground, bro.
The boy who introduced himself to the world in 2006 was gone, but the genius that made him unforgettable was still standing in the same place, still wearing Argentina's number 10 shirt, still making the impossible look normal. And you know, for almost his entire international career, Lionel Messi
Di
carried the
Maria,
weight that
how
no
did you miss
footballer
that?
should ever have to carry. Every tournament was not just about winning, it was about proving something bigger, proving that he is the man to bring Argentina another World Cup, proving that he could step out of Diego Maradona's shadow, proving that the greatest club career in history could be matched with the greatest international
Do you
career.
think
Every missed opportunity
Messi
became a national
already
tragedy.
passed
The 2014
Maradona?
FIFA World Cup final
I say
defeat,
yeah.
the Copa America losses, the tears,
what
the retirement
you talking
announcement.
about? I
For
say
years,
yeah.
Messi did not just play for Argentina. He carried the expectation of an entire nation on his shoulders. And that's what made the 2022 FIFA World Cup so important. It was not simply a trophy, it was freedom. The moment Messi lifted that World Cup trophy in Qatar, the final burden of his career disappeared. The greatest debate surrounding his legacy was over. He no longer had to chase history because he had already become history. And that's what made the 2026
Say
FIFA
that
World Cup
again.
such a terrifying
If
thought
he
for the rest
miss
of
it,
the world. Because they were no longer facing
bro,
Messi, who was
but
desperate to
I'm
prove himself.
but
They were
if
facing a
but
Messi
if
who was
Argentina
simply
win,
enjoying football again. His
oh
teammates
my
can see
God,
it.
yo,
Rodrigo de
if
Paul said the thing
Argentina
that made
win,
him happiest was seeing Messi smile again, seeing him play without the pressure that had followed him for years and years. And even Messi said that right after he won the 2022 FIFA World Cup, I just want to enjoy playing with Argentina as a champion. And even the manager Scaloni said that. A man who has spent years watching Messi create history struggled to find words after the Algeria match. He became emotional on the touchline, almost in tears, watching a man he had coached for years continue to do things that should not be possible. Maybe that was the biggest mistake the football world has made. They gave the greatest player in history a World Cup where he had nothing left to prove. A World Cup where he could play freely. A World Cup where every touch, every pass, every goal came from pure love for the game. Perhaps this is the most dangerous version of Lionel Messi that we never
Come on, I ain't gonna
thought
try
we
to
would
say
get.
Cristiano,
He was a
bro.
38-year-old Messi who had already achieved everything and was just playing for the lols. For 2 decades, football's biggest argument had only 2 names: Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, an endless debate that divided generations, countries, friendships, and entire fan bases. Every goal was compared, every trophy was counted, every Ballon d'Or became another chapter in the battle for the football immortality. And for many people, the World Cup was the final piece of that argument. Messi answered that question in 2022, but somehow, even after completing football, there were still people waiting for the moment.
Yo,
But
Messi
somehow,
be
even
boxing
after
out.
completing football, there
Messi
were
be
still
boxing out.
people.
Look. Messi be boxing out like NBA, like basketball, bro. Hey, yo, YouTube. If you're an athlete, watch other sports. Watch every single other sports. Watch it. I'm telling you, you're gonna learn something. You are gonna learn something. Basketball players, you watch volleyball and you learn how to block, and you see the way those bro, the way the actors, the way the sisters, the women be blocking. But not Clay Thompson. Hey man, he did that. Look at this. Messi watching basketball now. Look at it. He boxing out.
waiting
Yo,
for the
don't let it go
moment
over
where
your
the
head,
story
bro.
would slow down,
Watch
the
other
moment
games.
age would finally catch up to him, the
My
moment
bad
where he
sports.
would become just another legend watching from the sideline. Instead, he walked into the 2026 FIFA World Cup at 38 years of age and produced something that had never been seen before in his career, a hat-trick at the World Cup. And maybe this is what makes this moment feel different. It's not just another record. It's not just another incredible performance, it's the timing of it. At an age where most footballers are retired, Messi is still walking onto the biggest stage in the sport and doing things that players in
His
their
name is
physical
Lionel
prime
Messi.
struggle to do. Against Algeria, he didn't simply score, he controlled the entire night. Even Algerian midfielder Ibrahim Maza, who had a front row seat to the performance, can only describe it in the most simplest way possible. He said it's just Messi things, because sometimes there is no tactical explanation for this.
Oh my God.
There's no stat that
Bro,
can fully
no
explain
player
what he just watched.
I've ever
You just have
nutmeg
to accept that
more
it's
player.
outside the normal standards.
Higher innovation is
No player I've ever nutmeg more players than Messi, bro. The way Messi nutmeg
And the reaction
players
from around the world
bro.
said everything. The jokes from Messi supporters asking Ronaldo fans how their favorite player could possibly compete with a World Cup hat-trick at 38 years. The 70,000 people inside Kansas Stadium chanting his name. The feeling that everyone watching understood they were seeing a chapter of football history that may never repeat itself again. This was no longer about proving who's the greatest footballer of his generation.
Bro,
It was no longer about proving he was the greatest footballer of all time.
Glaze.
The conversation was already over. The only thing that was left to discuss was how far beyond everybody else was Lionel Messi's greatness. And at some point, we have to stop describing Messi as only a great footballer or the greatest footballer of all time. That conversation, like, it's finished. The records, the trophies, the moments, the longevity.
Thank
it's time
you!
to start saying he may be the greatest athlete of any sport. And think about the names that exist in that conversation. Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Usain Bolt, and many others. Every single one of them transformed their sport and reached levels that seemed impossible. But what makes Messi's case so unique is that he's done it in the biggest sport on the planet, under the biggest microscope imaginable for 2 decades. Football's the most popular sport. And he is the greatest footballer to have ever lived. He arrived at the World Cup as a teenager in 2006, and he is still here with us 20 years.
Bro, everybody talking about some France gonna win. France gonna win because of Dembele. Dembele is fast. No, my bad. Because of Mbappe is fast. He's scoring 2 goals, 3 goals in every single game. Dembele scored 3 goals back to back, feeling like Messi.
Later, producing magic week in
Nonsense.
and week out. He's the perfect combination.
Never compare anybody. His name is Messi.
Imagination and
Lionel Messi.
Cristiano Ronaldo's obsession with goals.
Am I lagging again, bro?
He's won more trophies than anyone in football. He has more Ballon d'Ors than anyone in football. He has conquered He's conquered club football, international football, and now he stands alongside Miroslav Klose as the greatest goal scorer in World Cup history, and he still has many games left to play in this World Cup. And you know what?
What?
One day, football will continue without Messi. Another World Cup will arrive, another superstar will rise, but the people who watched him will tell you stories about the player who made the impossible feel possible. A player who was not just the greatest of his era, but perhaps the greatest
all day, every day. No matter which side you're on, you can't ignore Messi is doing 38 years of great career history, but nobody thought it was done. Only haters. He's still dog game. He's still the man, bro. Is that all? Alright, so that's all. That's gonna wrap it up. On to the next one, inshallah. Peace. Assalamu alaikum, YouTube.